After a long fight in the water, the little golden puppy and the wild bobcat lay beside each other. Both were wet and very tired. When Martha Williams saw the video later on her screen, she started crying. The wild bobcat named Rusty had jumped into the swimming pool to save the puppy, Scout. But how did such a surprising friendship even begin? 6 months ago, Martha and her husband Robert had moved into a quiet house in a small town called Maple Hills. The house was built in the 1990s. It had a lovely garden and an old swimming pool that wasn't used for many years. Martha had just retired from her job as a school teacher, and Robert had also left his job as an engineer. Before leaving for another city, their daughter gave them a sweet little gift, a 6-month-old golden retriever puppy. The couple named him Scout. He was full of energy and had shiny golden fur. Scout became their best friend in no time. But the couple didn't know that someone else already lived in their backyard, a wild bobcat. On their first night in the new home, Martha heard a strange noise. She looked out of the window and saw glowing yellow eyes in the dark. It was Rusty, a bobcat who had lived in the garden for years. When the house was empty, he used to stay there, hunt, and rest peacefully. Martha didn't tell Robert about it. She thought he would get scared or angry. But just a few days later, Scout saw Rusty in the garden. Scout barked loudly and ran towards him. Rusty jumped onto a wall, showed his sharp claws, and growled. It could have become dangerous. Martha screamed and ran outside to protect Scout. Over the next few days, Robert installed lights in the garden to scare wild animals away. Martha also stopped letting Scout play outside alone, but they couldn't remove Rusty. When they asked a forest officer, he said bobcats are protected by law. They could only be moved if they hurt a human. A change begins. One cold and rainy night, Martha saw Rusty under the porch. He was wet and shaking. She felt sorry for him. Even though people say not to help wild animals, she opened the shed and let Rusty go inside. In the morning, Rusty was gone. After that, things slowly started to change. Rusty and Scout began to stay calm around each other. Scout stopped barking. Rusty started watching Scout from a distance. One day, Scout rolled his favorite ball toward Rusty. Rusty looked at it for a moment and then pushed it back with his paw. That was the first sign of friendship. The pool problem. When spring arrived, Robert started fixing the swimming pool. He added new tiles and filled it with clean water. He also built a high safety fence around it so Scout couldn't fall in. But one small part of the fence was not finished yet. Robert planned to fix it on the weekend. Then came a Thursday that changed everything. That morning, Martha got a phone call from the clinic. The doctor said Robert's health test was not good. They needed to come quickly. In a hurry, they left the house. Martha didn't see that the wind had opened part of the pool fence just a little. It was enough for a puppy to go through. Security cameras later showed what happened. After about 20 minutes, Scout saw that the back door wasn't fully closed. Martha had forgotten to shut it properly. Scout slipped outside. Rusty, who was resting on the shed roof, came down and joined his little friend. They started playing in the garden. It was a hot day. After running around, Scout became very thirsty. His water bowl was inside the house, so he walked toward the pool. The water looked clean and cool. He leaned over to take a drink. Rusty gave a soft growl to warn him, but Scout didn't listen. He pushed through the loose part of the fence. As Scout leaned over the pool edge, his paws slipped. He fell into the pool with a big splash. At first, Scout swam in circles. He had been in the pool before, but always with a life jacket and help. This time he was alone. Rusty, scared of water, watched from the side. His eyes were full of worry. Scout tried to swim, but he was getting tired. His fur was heavy and pulling him down. The steps were far and the edge was too high. Water started going into his mouth. He was drowning. Rusty ran around the pool crying out, but he didn't know what to do. Once he had almost drowned during a storm. Even light rain scared him, but now his best friend was in danger. The brave jump. 10 minutes passed. Scout was losing strength. He started sinking. Rusty stopped running. He looked at the water, and then he jumped in. The cold water shocked Rusty. His thick fur made swimming hard, but he didn't stop. Slowly, he swam to Scout. Scout saw him and moved closer. He was too tired to swim properly and grabbed Rusty's neck. Scout was heavy. Rusty almost sank. But he didn't give up. He bit Scout's neck gently, like mother cats carry their babies, and turned toward the pool steps. Step by step, he swam to the edge. Finally, they reached the steps. Rusty used his head to push Scout upward. Scout climbed out, coughing and shaking. Rusty stayed in the water, too tired to move. Then Scout did something beautiful. Though weak, Scout turned around and gently pulled Rusty by the fur. It was not strong enough to lift him, but it gave Rusty the strength he needed to get out. Now, both lay on the ground, soaked and cold, but safe. The family grows. Later that day, Martha and Robert came home. The doctor's report had been a mistake. Robert was healthy, but their joy turned to panic when they saw the door open and Scout missing. They ran to the garden and found Scout and Rusty lying next to each other. Robert quickly wrapped them in warm blankets. Martha watched the security camera and saw the entire rescue. Tears filled her eyes as she saw Rusty jumping into the pool to save Scout. That night, Robert fixed the pool fence completely. But more importantly, they made a big decision. Rusty would now be part of the family. Robert made a special cat door in the backyard, so Rusty could come and go. Rusty still hunted in the nearby woods, but he always returned home. He and Scout were now best friends. They played, slept together. Robert also taught Scout how to swim safely. Rusty never went into the pool again, but he always watched. A year later, on the same day as the rescue, the couple held a small celebration. They called it Rescue Day. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heart-touching tales.